Alright, we're going to play today. We're going to do a little, out of a block of wood, we're going to do a little long-legged fella. Now this is 3/4 by 3/4. That's what it is, and it's about, now what I'm trying to say to you is we're not going to use the whole thing, so it can be, this is about 5 3/4 inches long. But we're not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to go down there and just use part of it. Okay? And if you want to make it a stand or whatever, you can, or just cut it off the feet and you've got your little character. Now, it's a hot day here in Texas. Finally, we've had about 10 inches, 10 days of rain, which we got about 8 to 9 inches of rain out of it. So the ground is well saturated. I've been cutting a little grass this morning, and what I can cut, the front is does good. So you know, it's just anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to just have a little whittling time is what we're going to do. A lot of fun whittling time. Going to be a simple project. Now we're going to take our ruler and we're going to go about 4.5 inches down. Okay, no, wait a minute, that's a little bit too long. Let's go 4 inches. Let me look at it here. 4 inches do, yeah, 4 inches will do it. I'm going to go about 4 inches down. They don't have to be perfect. I just kind of, because that's where the shoes are going to be. And so we're just going to first of all, let's round our top up here. I hope everybody is well. Like I said, we have had tremendous rains down here. We're just going to kind of, this is a piece of sugar pine given to me, a friend of mine named Whittler Dave. He got plenty of sugar pine where he's at. He's up in Gatlinburg. And then I heard yesterday that Gatlinburg has had torrential rains and that they had to evacuate Dollywood and Pigeon Forge because of the flash flooding. So they had to close it down for the people, and so just a little tidbit there. If you live in that area, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I did not know that they had to, you know, close down and evacuate, because a lot of cars were in the parking lot were in water. Some of them, water was pretty high in your car, and a lot of people couldn't get to it. People were having to wade through a lot of water to get to it. Anyway, so I took here, and all I did was just kind of got that done. Now let's come down, let's say this thing here. I've used it so much, I've just about worn the little things out. Let's go down about 1.25 inches. Okay, and that is where our end of our face will be, and we're going to cut into there. Now remember, when you carve something, you have a head, and it's kind of a big head, but I'll let it go. You have a head, you have a body, And what I'm going to do is from this point, I'm just going to come up a little bit like this. And let me see, come across here. There we go. And we're going to come back here. And we're going to, doesn't matter, it doesn't really matter how far you go up. I mean, you don't want to go up like this, you know, you're going to have a head. Get those out of the way. Yeah, I saw pictures. There was severe flash flooding going on. Excuse me, let me. I'm sorry. I apologize. My leg got cramped. I apologize. I do. Whew. That's what happens when you get old. I told y'all this is live. I don't edit nothing. And I got a cramp in my leg. And I had to stand up for a minute. Kind of straighten it out. Okay. I apologize for that. All right. Now let's just come back right. Let's from the head down. Okay, let's come down around two and 3/4. I may use this whole thing if I won't make. Depends on how long. About 2 3/4 right here. 2 3/4, and that's going to be our body. And I might go down further than 4 inches. I might do that. So this is going to be our body right here. Yeah, I'm going to go even further than 4 inches. I can see that already. And that's fine. I make my cuts right in here. Yeah, I'm gonna come down even further than 4 inches. I might have gotten too much on the head here. I'm gonna bring that head down a lot. That's fine. Bring it down. Okay, here's our body. And I'm gonna use this whole thing. Okay, this is our body right here. I'm gonna make his legs really long. Okay, now let's come on down more than 4 inches. Sometimes you see, the thing is, you have a piece. Let's come down 5 inches rather than 4 inches down to the bottom here. And let's make a cut in here. The reason I didn't want to go too far is there was a knot on the end of it. And when you get into those knots, you really have a lot of problems. Okay, now let's just sort of, I'm gonna bring this head down. I don't want it to be, it's too, that's the wonderful thing about it all, is, so, like I said, this whenever I start a piece, I can do just about whatever I want to with it. Now, if you only have so much wood, no, you can't. But I had enough wood where I can go down even further and make his legs even further. Okay. And let's see, we're gonna do this. And we're gonna come down here. And we're going to cut for our shoes. We're going to go kind of deep in here. Now, if you ever have trouble kind of seeing what I'm doing, all you have to do is just enlarge. On YouTube, they have the enlarge thing. Just enlarge it, and it'll put you right on top of it. So, all right, now see here. All right, let's go kind of get this body up underneath this head right here. All right, so as you see here, he's going to be a very long-legged person. Really is. Now, let's go ahead and on this side put our arm. Put our arm here. And we want to make that cut. And yeah, I saw pictures, and I tell you what, it was some severe flooding. If you live up around that area, you can tell, you know, that this was a I didn't know that they were having those torrential rains like we were having. Now we didn't have any flash flooding, but we had some flooding, but not any what you call extreme flash flooding. And I'm just going to put the hands in the pocket over here. I'm not going to go to extremes. Yeah. So I don't know full deal. I just know it was a lot of rain, and came down fast. They said what happened is that they weren't. It kind of like it came out of nowhere, and it just came down real fast and flooded the streets. It was showing the streets that were flooded. People were people walking around. Kids love that kind of stuff. You know that. I mean, kids love for it to rain like that. And the problem was that the water was going into some of the businesses, and that was at Dollywood, yeah. And so they had an issue there, a real issue. So I don't know full thing, but anyway, we're just kind of whittling on this little guy, bringing this down. Now you see how long the legs are going to be. I've got a little knot right in here, which is going to give me some trouble. It was right in here, and it's going to give me some trouble. I can already tell. So let's just kind of come down here on the legs, and let's just sort of get them down a little bit. And then we're going to come to the back here, and we're going to kind of have a, you know, where he's kind of, what I'm saying is where the legs look like they're bending, okay? So let's I'm just drawing that right there. You see that right there? And let's go ahead and draw that across there and draw that across there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it will look like he's and you cut all the, what you want to do is you want to cut all this out in here. From here to here, you want to cut all that out in there. Where it looks like he's bending his legs heavily. And we're going to remove that wood in there. Yeah, this is the first day that we've had a clear day. It has rained for 10 days straight, and it has been quite a problem. You come over here and just sort of draw that right there. Give it that look. Ooh, got a little spot right there that's difficult. Can't imagine that, huh? You run into those. And then you just start removing that wood. See how I'm removing it there? Where it gives that motion, sort of adds a little motion to the, see that? To the and you work your way, as you work it toward the middle there, where you've got that, you won't take too much now, but just enough to give it that look. Okay, you see that? See that? We'll take a little bit more off. Now, sugar pine is a good wood to carve. Sometimes it's a little. All pine has a little sap or rosin in it, so you want to be careful in carving pine because it. There you go. See that? And we'll go down here like that. Now we don't want to go much further than that. That's looks about right. And this is our. Now what we want to do. You gotta be careful of this. Is we want to draw a center line on our legs. like this. I'm going to draw a little center line. Don't have to be perfect. And we want to take our knife and we want to cut down that center line. And then you remove both sides of it like this. You're just separating the legs, what you're doing. You're just separating them. And then on this side, you do the same thing. Cut away. You start separating those legs. Now, we're not going to separate them completely. We're just going to make them long and lanky. See that? So I'm just kind of separating those legs. Doing it with a knife. And we are doing it here. See that? I should have put his hands behind his back. But that's all right. That would have been neat. Put his hands behind his back. Uh-oh. I can see that when I got down here to the... Ooh. I'm going to have to be very, very careful down here. See it breaking? There's a knot. So I'm going to try to cut it the best way I know how. Yeah, that's a knot. And I'm going to separate those legs. Yeah, you really have to. That's the good thing about basswood too. You don't get too many knots in your wood. Yeah, it's a knot is what it is. I'm cutting into a knot. So you need to have a sharp knife. Well, you won't. I didn't know there was a knot right there. You won't. You probably won't run into this. In other words, you're probably using basswood or something like that. Yeah, those knots are deadly. Okay, we're gonna do this with the shoe.